Life is good, it is good to me, and it was meant for you to live and be free, to live and be free.
So this past weekend I had quite the adventure as I spent a lot of time by the Delaware River camping and enjoying life. I had the craziest experience when me, my friend Asya, and our friend Laura swam across from one side of the river to the other. And as we got to the other side, we found a rope tied to a branch that you could swing off of into the water. And it's not something that we had noticed as we were swimming across the river in that direction, but it's something that we noticed like as soon as we got there. And I have never, ever, ever, never jumped into the water from a piece of rope tied to a tree. Heights can be something that sometimes do or do not tremendously terrify me, but when they do, it's an issue and it causes me anxiety. And neither Asya nor Laura have ever jumped from a swing like that into the water. And we kind of stood there and watched it, and for some reason it just posed a challenge, and Laura asked us a serious question. She's like, look, we're not honestly gonna leave until we do this, right? Because we all kind of had it in our mind that this was basically an opportunity for us, and that there was a reason why it presented itself as we got to the other side. Because had we seen it earlier, we may have hesitated, we may have not swam in that way. And it was wild. Asya was the first to go. I told her she has balls of titanium. Laura was the second, and then I was the third. And it was wild because once you're up there and you're holding on to this rope tied to a branch that will take you into this water, you know, once you're standing there, the fear really hits you. And the reason why I keep saying it's a wild thing is because I really experienced what Eckhart Tolle describes as the voice in your head, you know, the quote-unquote ego. I felt this fear, and I was incredibly aware of this fear within me. And once I realized that I was the presence acknowledging this fear or this illusionary emotion, it made it easier to jump and let go. And the reason why it made it easier for me was because I observed the whole situation and I kind of broke it down for myself. I observed the whole situation as it was, and I really thought it through. And I looked, and what did I see? I see people swimming. I see people having a good time. I see people in canoes, kayaks, and rafts. No conflict. Everything's good. I see Asya and Laura, and they made it out alive. And really what I see is that this entire weekend was an opportunity for me to reconnect with nature. And I thought about it, and I knew the universe wouldn't allow me, you know, to be in this kind of situation where it would cause me harm. I knew no harm would come to me, and I trusted the universe. And one thing that I recalled was a phrase that I heard once, which was let go and let God, or in our case, let go and let source or the universe. And this idea of letting go is one that is powerful and is something that constantly needs to be relearned. The idea of surrender needs to be constantly practiced. And the funniest thing was that even when I had done it once, when I went back up to do it a second time, I still felt that fear. And it still took me a couple of minutes before I could let go and, you know, take that jump again. And the second time was most fun. I managed to catch my nose, and when I went into the water and I knew I got to the point where I would then slowly rise back up, the part where my body rose through the water was just so freeing, and I felt that there was no need to worry. I felt so at peace. It was, oh, the awesomest feeling ever. And the third time, for some reason, I let my mind get the best of me, and I felt that anxiety again. And when I came back up from the water, I actually felt like really panicked. I feel like if I really wanted to learn the idea of battling that voice in my head and battling the fear and breaking the fear down and disintegrating it to its barest nude form, I feel like I'd have to be there for an entire day, going back and forth, jumping off of that rope swing, because I don't know how else you can do it. If you really want to undo fear that's been conditioned within you by your anxieties, by the past, by your concerns, you have to constantly work on it. And it's crazy, but it's just the reality. From the genius himself. One thing Eckhart Tolle writes about in regards to the voice in your head, he says, when you notice that voice, you will also realize that you are not the voice, but the one who is aware of it. In fact, you are the awareness that is aware of the voice. In the background, there is the awareness. In the foreground, there is the voice, the thinker. In this way, you are becoming free of the ego, free of the unobserved mind. The moment you become aware of the ego in you, it is strictly speaking no longer the ego, but just an old, conditioned mind pattern. Ego implies unawareness. Awareness and ego cannot coexist. The old mind pattern or mental habit may still survive and reoccur for a while because it has the momentum of thousands of years of collective human unconsciousness behind it. But every time it is recognized, it is weakened. So, aside from sticking to your spiritual practice, reading your books, contemplating your reality, one thing that I highly suggest for everyone to do is to step outside of your house and enjoy life. And I know this video today is shot indoors, but bear with me, I've spent a lot of time outside and it's something I highly encourage everyone to do, to go out, reconnect, enjoy, and to just embrace, get some fresh air, live life, be happy, smile, say hello to strangers, and do your thing. And stick with your heart, and always go in love, as usual. And if you love these videos, which I'm sure you do, then please please subscribe, and keep kicking ass. All right. See y'all later. Bye.